Hey y'all, Coach in the Fight here with another installment on this mini series out of the book called The Shepherd of Hermas, the second book called His Commands. Now, we've gone in and we've done a verse by verse study all the way up, including chapter 6, which we did last time on the two spirits that control man. We've touched on anger, we've touched on lying, we've touched on let's recap the two spirits, sadness and patience. We covered that. Put away one's wife away for adultery. We've talked about that. Lying, how we must avoid detraction, or what is that? That's slandering, and how we are to perform alms deeds with simplicity and believing in only one God. Those are the subjects leading up to where we're at now, which is chapter 7 of the book called His Commands. And it's about that we must fear God, but not the devil. So this doesn't have that many verses in it. So time permitting, we're going to try to go to the next section, section 8, that we must flee from evil and do good, and maybe even get into chapter 9, that we may ask of God daily without doubting. But if we don't get to that, we'll cover it in a future class. So go ahead and hit that subscription button and or that bell notification button so you can see those classes when they come out. And if you would, go ahead and hit the like button and be prepared to leave a comment. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Verse 1. Fear God, says he, and keep his commandments. For if thou keepest his commandments, thou shalt be powerful in every work, and all thy works shall be excellent. For by fearing God, thou shalt do everything well. Now, this is a major promise of the scripture, is that the work of our hands will be blessed. Now, I was quite shocked by this this promise in the scripture. But I guess because I found out about it so late in my spiritual walk. I'd been reading the scripture for 20 years before I realized that one of the promises of the Bible was that we would get the Midas touch. Anything we touch turned to gold, whether it's working on a car, building a house, fixing something. It doesn't matter. Once we do what it says here, start to fear the Lord, keep it his commandments and such, it seems like everything we try works out for us. It actually works. We can make stuff happen. Verse 2 says, this is that fear. All right, so I'm gonna do this from a vertical position. I'm gonna try it up there at the top at first. Scroll down. That we must fear God, but not the devil. This is the second book of Hermas called His Commands, chapter 7, that we must fear God, but not the devil. It says, fear God, says he, and keep his commandments. For if thou keepest his commandments, thou shalt be powerful in every work, and all thy works shall be excellent. For by fearing God, thou shalt do everything well. Read Proverbs. This turns out to be a pattern in which one of the first, if not the first, I shouldn't say, if not the first book, Proverbs. It explains this verse in great detail. You think Proverbs has 31 chapters in it? Well, all 30, this verse right here can sum up all 31 of those chapters. Every chapter you could do a class from this verse and that chapter. I don't care what chapter of Proverbs it is. So there's many blessings in there, but we already covered that. So let's go on. This is that fear with which thou must be affected, that thou mayest be saved. But fear not the devil, for if thou fearest the Lord, thou shalt have dominion over him, because there is no power in him. Yeah, the devil ain't real, guys. It's kind of like a figment of our imagination, to be real. It lives inside of our brains. That's what Michael was talking about over there, or they talking about over there in the book of Revelation when they're talking about there was a war in heaven and Michael fought and his angels fought and all of this. This is actually a war that's taking place, but these people ain't real. You think there's somewhere that they're battling it out? You know what I'm saying? In the stars, maybe. If you want to see it played out, that's the only place you can look to actually see this thing play out is in the stars. That's the visual aid that our Father left for us, is those stars up there. But anyway, we done covered this one too. So let's go on. Verse 3. Now, if there be no power in him, then neither is he to be feared. But he in whom there is excellent power, he is to be feared. For everyone that has power is to be feared. But he that has no power is despised by everyone. All right. So talking about power here, notice this part where it says, but he that has no power is despised by everyone. Now, I could speak firsthand about this one. You ain't got no power. It's like the lowest of the lowest people in their own world. If you was to judge, if you was to give them a questionnaire, and the people who said my life sucks the most, we're gonna isolate them and put them we're gonna eliminate all of the other people that say I'm doing great. We don't shut them off. We don't even want to hear from them. We're just only going to hear from the people who say that their life is we're gonna say 8 or 9 out of 10, or even a 10 out of 10. We're like, I'm at the bottom of the bottom. But you put them in the front of a person that has no power, and they will immediately understand that they are in a position of superiority to that individual, and they will become haughty in that moment. Be like, my life sucks, but you know what I'm saying? At least I got some power. You know what I mean? That's what people mean. I ain't gonna get into the race thing, but you know what I'm saying? You can put it in the comment section if you know what I'm talking about. They be like, I'd rather be anything else. Sick, dying, dead, stinky. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not dead, because a dead man ain't got no power either. Dead man ain't got no power either. But let's go on. Verse 4. Fear the works of the devil, because they are evil. For by fearing the Lord, thou wilt fear and not do the works of the devil, but keep thyself from them. Okay. So now you could do a whole class off of this. You know what I'm saying? Anybody want to join Hermas Academy? If you want to do a Hermas Academy class, all you would go is to the Shepherd of Hermas and find a verse like verse 4, where one of these verses that you could do a whole class for him. Fear the works of the devil. Okay, his works. So, like we said, this thing is not real, but it actually is real. It is actually causing, all of this hurt, harm, danger, and all of this stuff around the world. But it says, fear the works of the devil. So you don't fear him, you fear his works. You fear those things that he's actually doing. And I hope I'm not confusing anything with this he. It don't necessarily mean that it's a being. You're not a little 3-year-old kid is not going to be able to walk up and poke this thing and be like, is it real or not? This is not nothing we're going to be able to see in the material world. That's how you know it's not real, is because it's not in the third dimension. You know what I'm saying? The only thing real to us is in this third dimension. And when we, go through this great awakening or whatever, then, we can think about higher minded things. But anyway, you're fearing the works because they are evil. His works are evil. And if you really want to jump ahead to find out what the works are, you would look in the book of Hermas, the first book called Vision. You would look, I think, in chapter 3. You would read chapter 3, Vision 1, chapter 3. That's one chapter that'll catch you up on, all of that. Or Similitudes 8 and 9. Similitudes 8 and 9. 8 is pretty cool. It kind of sums everything up. but 9 really goes into the dilly wop, if you know what I mean. But anyway, he says, "For by fearing the Lord, thou wilt fear not to do the works of the devil." So by fearing the Lord, you think about it, if you have a desire to do right, it's going to make it difficult for you to actually do wrong. You know what I mean? Some people don't care; they just go through life. You know what I'm saying? Like they a canoe in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? They just out there. You know what I'm saying? But if you living life intentionally, then you are actively fearing the Lord. And in fearing the Lord. All right, well, let's go on to verse 5. It says, "There is therefore a twofold fear. If thou wilt not do evil, fear the Lord, and thou shalt not do it. But if thou wilt do good, the fear of the Lord is strong and great and glorious." So he's saying that there's two kinds of fear here, but both of them are in the fear of the Lord. You know, when you have a fear in the Lord, um, it will result in you not doing evil. And it says that if you intend to do good, then this fear of the Lord will strengthen you, will be strong, great, and glorious. Verse 6 says, "Wherefore fear God, and thou shalt live. And whosoever shall fear him and keep his commandments, their life is with the Lord. But they who keep them not, neither is life in them." So, in summary, we just really need to learn, I'm not to fear the devil. We were taught from a little kid that he was a scary creature, and even us adults sometimes are afraid of him. But we're learning in this verse that he has no power whatsoever, and the only real fear is in not abstaining from doing evil things, because we learn in other parts of the scripture that by doing evil things you will cause yourself to be, you will cause harm upon yourself. So this fear of the Lord works both ways then. It keeps us from doing evil and it makes us want to do good. So we need to get this fear of the Lord, understand what this fear is, and make sure that we have a healthy fear of the Lord. Well, anyway, I hope you got something out of this little video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button. But if you didn't, go ahead and hit the dislike button. If it's somewhere we can improve on or do something better, just leave it down in the comment section. But may peace be upon you.